That was unbelievable. It's just not all filled up. But I'd like to respond to a couple of things that came up because it's so fresh right in my mind. And if I wait too long, I can tell you what's going to happen. Haynes Brady was a total surprise. And what is so interesting about it is you go through life thinking your mentor has to be somebody older than you. No. Haynes was younger than me, but I still consider him a mentor. And he gave wisdom, he saw things. In fact, he has a brilliant career. But it was just wonderful that he took the time to forward that, and it means a lot. The human general, we were once asked by one of the senior directors of the joint company how two people could get along in business. One hired the other, one was CEO, and then they changed seats, and how do you do that? And I looked at Maida, she looked at me, we were in the boardroom, and we both said one thing at the same time: mutual respect. And it's incredible. We've been able to work together. She has a brilliant feel for the street, I call it the street, what's the sensitivity, what's going on in our industry, and again, someone that you learn a lot from. And then someone's been forgotten in this, and that's the hardworking wife, Anne. She's had to put up with, when we lived in London, I would go to Saudi Arabia for 3 weeks, we would go to the other parts of the Middle East. When I moved to California, all the business seemed to go to the east. We spend long trips in there, and she did a pretty good job of raising those two boys. I think you'd all agree. Thank you very much for this special recognition. I'm sincerely honored and almost don't know what to say. It's far beyond any expectation that I had. But it reflects all of you, and it's to be acknowledged in front of your peers. You probably can't ask for anything more in life. But I believe this occasion says a little bit more. And that would also be that we celebrate as a team, which is such an important part of United Fresh today. We would never have influence over the Food Safety Modernization Act without dedicated teams representing all aspects of our business. I think that's pretty powerful. I remember attending early on in the process meetings of the Food Safety Committee, and when I would peek in the room, didn't recognize a soul. I was looking for a tent card, there wasn't any in there for me. We would never have influence without the dedicated people who were part of that team, and that required new scientists, food technologists, chemists, biochemists, water specialists, joining a team that would bring us forward. And that's the way I feel. Everything I think I've done in recent years, it's not me, it's a team. People who have special talent in different areas of the company than just one person. And while I'm on the subject of teams, I must not forget the team that put together this wonderful evening tonight. Angela, Victoria, Amanda. Wow, this is fantastic, and thank you for all the efforts in putting and time in putting this together tonight. I'm also very proud of United Fresh and of being a part of it for some 25 years now. Why the commitment to United Fresh? Because I believe that there is a strong alignment between United and the industry we serve. Also, the industry is strongly committed to programs that will have to mature before we have the full benefit. In the past, we defended against an action by the government that would have a negative impact on our industry. For example, the ACA. Shortly after I joined the board of United, I received a call from Joe Procaci asking me to testify on PACA in Washington. That's the defensive side. Food nutrition is the offensive side. Programs that are the most exciting, I think, and also the most frustrating, are linked to nutrition policy. 4 billion meals served in schools each year. $80 billion on food stamps. While these numbers are impressive, the disappointments are many. Over the years, Lorelei, and she's still here, we had a good hug tonight and appreciation. She had to live through so many changes in committees, in leadership. The day before you're ready to have something, they go on recess, and you just have to persevere. You keep banging away to get the job done. Recently, she had the frozen food industry, I guess, trying to persuade Congress, a good target for something like this, that pizza was appropriately classified as a vegetable. It's just that sort of thing. What's at stake? Poor eating habits have caused a spike in childhood obesity in the last few decades. Today, more than 17% of kids ages 2 to 17 qualify as obese, double what it was 20 years ago. We also learned from the book that Tom had us all read, Too Fat to Fight, that 70% of the draft age men would not meet the physical standards to be drafted in the military. Think of the consequences that has. A new study on youth nutrition has some great news, and it's linked to other studies that come up with the same conclusion. It finds that young people who ate fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains, and who steered away from sugar, red meat, and processed foods, gained significantly less weight as they entered young adulthood. The study conducted by researchers at the University of Minnesota followed the eating habits of 2,500 adolescents from the time they were 15 until they were 25. They found that by eating well at age 15, people developed the habit of good nutrition, and it carried on through the 20s and 30s. Eating behavior is very hard to change. And I can go back years when I had to give papers on that. Eating behavior is probably the most difficult behavior to change. An interesting note, as we were talking, my brother, who just spoke, also is focusing on reading programs for the children. And as we are doing for children, the fruits and vegetables. And what I see here is that we're attacking, realizing we have to reach the children early for good behavior in both eating and other things, but they go together. Long-term relationships. I'm going to make a comment on this. Tom said stay away from it, but it's so much fun. My mind's been working. I said, should you or should you just, oh, thanks very much for coming. I can't resist. It's too much. Tom and my relationship go back to the, I guess, the early 80s, when he was head and director, I guess, of the National Soft Drink Association, Public Affairs Director, and I was with Sunkist, that came back from Europe, and was managing their products division, which included the worldwide Sunkist trademark. And we were both thrown into a really tough exercise, the Beach Boys' first U.S. tour. That's when we launched Sunkist soft drinks. Tom then moved on to be president of the International Food Information Council, which was a rather big organization for the food industry, Unilever, PepsiCo, Kraft Foods. And for what I was on, it turns out, I'm there and I'm looking at the new president and realize I'm on that board. So we were thrown together again and had a chance to really get acquainted. And I was on the board because of my relationship with DuPont. Then Tom was recruited by United And when I joined SEAL Suite in 1994, I got a call from Tom one day, and he just said, I understand you're back solidly in the produce industry. Could use a little help. And I did join the board in 1995, and wouldn't you know, the first meeting we had was with DuPont. And they presented what a lot of the board members thought was just not going to cover, a leadership program. And we were debating it, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but they didn't think DuPont may stay the course, that they would take advantage of us. Well, 22 years or 22 teams later, I think they've shown that that's a hell of a good partner. So, and that's when I first met Tim Voss, who led that charge and deserved a lot of credit for what he accomplished. I believe that Tom has done, when I go back and think through all our work together, a terrific job in redirecting and reshaping United Fresh. He's put together a competent team, a motivated team of professionals who are respected throughout the industry, and that includes Capitol Hill. I would go further. I think they're gaining respect also in Europe for the work that they do as a model. And I'd like to conclude by just saying, Tom, thanks for your dedication and for making this such a great organization. Thank you, Tom. And thank you. Story about Parkinson's, you gotta laugh at these type of things. We were getting ready with the family upstairs, and Ann and I, one of the boys, were going to get here, and how much time are you going to need to get ready? And I said, I'll need about an hour. An hour? She said, well, it takes me a little extra time with buttons. And what happens is your dexterity goes, and you can't get the button in the damn hole. I told this to some colleagues, and there's always someone out there who's an entrepreneur. He said, maybe I can find a solution. I saw him a few weeks ago at a convention, and he says, what do you think? I said, what do you mean, what do I think? I said, well, I don't know, the shirt, you like the shirt? Yeah. Let's go. One other example is I find that getting anywhere with a disease like Parkinson's and working with people, you gotta have a positive attitude, you gotta be able to laugh, and you gotta take control. I'm at the World Parkinson's seminars. They do it every 3 years in Portland this September. And I'm sitting in the main thoroughfare and I'm watching people go back and forth. And I'll give you an example. These are real things that happen. You get freezing. You get a little shuffle. We know that's part of it. We have to do something about it. All of a sudden, though, I thought, oh my God! I started laughing, and I'm sitting all myself in this place is 2,000 or 3,000 people in. I think Monty Python's Administration for Silly Walks. And I go back to my work with the association. I go to all the exercise classes as well. I don't just say, why don't you try this and see how it works. Whether it's boxing or dancing, whatever it is, you have to be part of it. But when you have a laugh, it's pretty funny. That's something you can handle. And that's the way I think I've also tried to be in my business career. The story about the table is absolutely true. It was done in Zurich at the Kindelhof. We had these huge tables, and after I finished my run, a table 2 down, 2 Germans got up with their lederhosen and about 280 pounds. The first one took 3 steps and broke every glass. The little guy last minute to dancing on the tables and whatever. But we had a lot of fun and missed those people enormously as well in one phase. I've enjoyed it. Thank you so much tonight for all your accolades. Love the industry, love the people in it. We were very fortunate to have just some wonderful characters, and I hope we never lose that. That's the new machinery kills that. I mean, the old days, in fact, you talk about mentors. I used to, any excuse I could find to have lunch with Joe Procacci, I did. If you could learn more in an hour, Joe, than anything he could teach you in the university. I mean, and he didn't need all that other, but he just looked him in the eye and talked, and honest as they come. So, again, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful evening.